Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. So, over the last decade, I have experimented with dozens and dozens of strategies for managing my time. And I've been doing that because time management is, I think, one of the most important skills that we can develop and build in the world today. And it's because fundamentally, time is our single most valuable non-renewable resource. We can always make more money, but we can never make more time. And so really the skill of time management is in being able to make the best use of that time, not necessarily for only doing productive things, but instead to use that time intentionally and effectively. So in this video, I want to talk you through my Trident method, which is a sort of three-pronged method for time management. And I'll show you exactly how I use these different methods in my life to manage my own time. And in the video description, I've also linked completely for free the templates that you can use to incorporate this into your life if you would like as well. So this aspect of the strategy was a total game changer when I actually tried bullet journaling last year. Now, bullet journaling is a somewhat fancy pen and paper method of productivity, but it's sort of been co-opted over the years by artists and people making ridiculously fancy and beautiful looking bullet journal spreads. And I was super enamored by this and thought, you know what, I'm gonna try the bullet journal method. And so for the final 4 months of 2022, I painstakingly bullet journaled basically every day. And I sunk so many hours into my bullet journal method, and it was really good. But there was one aspect of the bullet journal method that completely changed the game for my time management, and that was this view, the year at a glance. Now, the point of this view is that you split up the entire year into these different columns. And so you end up having 12 columns that show the different months, and then 1 to 31 down the side that show you the different dates. And so what you end up with is these 366 blocks. Now, when I did the bullet journal technique, this immediately gave me incredible insight and clarity into what the rest of my year was gonna look like, because this is not really a view that we see particularly often. If, for example, you use Google Calendar or something, you tend to be stuck in the weekly view or in the monthly view. And even if you have like a physical annual calendar, you tend to flip the pages. And so you never really see your entire year just laid out on a single page or 2 pages. So in January of this year, I decided I wanted to have a more digital way of having this kind of view in my life. And so I decided to just make a Google Sheet out of it. I think these days it's too easy to default to fancy apps and like, oh, what's the latest thing here? But I thought, you know what? A spreadsheet just does the job totally fine. And so I literally just went through on Google Sheets and I created one of these year at a glance templates. And this is what the blank version of this looks like. So as you can see, we've got the months down the top. We have color-coded the months in like pretty colors, and we've got the weekends color-coded as well. And this is the template that you can download. Just hit the link in the video description. It's completely free, and you can duplicate this into your own Google Sheet account if you would really like to. And this is what my version of this actually looks like. And I use this in 2 specific ways to manage my time. Firstly, it's really helpful for zooming out and getting a bird's eye view of my entire year, so I can use it to plan my life. I'm filming this video, for example, in April, but I already know that this is the stuff that's kind of going on in May, and in June, I'm going to Austin for a bit, and then I've got this block of time to go on an adventure with some friends, and then I'm going on a retreat to LA later in June. And this is so helpful to get an idea of A, where things are, and B, it then allows me to plan things like weekend group trips with friends or being able to plan holidays in advance so I can block out the time. I then reflect those changes in my actual Google Calendar so the team knows exactly what's going on in my life. And I found this to be a ridiculously effective way of managing my time on a macro scale. And to make this easier to deal with, what you can do is, when the months are gone, you can just right click, you can hide those columns, and now it's just way easier to see exactly what's going on in a given month and then what's going on for the rest of the year. So that's how I manage my time on the level of the whole year. Let's now move on to the level of a single week. But I've got to go somewhere right now, be right back.